Hello everyone, welcome to another video on PLC lecture series. In this tutorial we'll learn how we can use start operation, stop operation and emergency stop operation for any conveyor belt or any output load, and we'll also integrate the indicating lamps for these operations. Like start operation, it will turn on the green light; for stop operation it will turn on the red light, and for emergency it will turn on the yellow light. And whenever the emergency condition occurs, all the other two lights will be turned off, the conveyor belts will go into off state, and the emergency indicator will only be the in operation. Well, for this demonstration we will need 3 switch and 3 indicator lamp as well as 1 output load, so totally 4 output and 3 input. So for start switch we will bring in a make contact with I1 input, and in the simulation tab we will choose momentary push button. For brake operation, that is for stop switch, we will need brake contact, it would be our I2 input. In simulation we will make sure it is momentary push button. And for emergency stop switch, it's also a brake contact, we will choose I3 for emergency stop switch, and in the simulation tab we will choose switch for emergency stop operation. Now we'll bring in the output, that is our conveyor belt, as Q1. For the latching operation we bring in make contact, and this make contact would be for Q1. So go down and choose Q1 here. Let's connect them. Well, now we need to put the 3 indicator lamps into the circuit. We'll bring in the green light, that is the starting operation or running operation. We'll bring in the red light, that is the stop operation, and we'll bring in another relay coil for emergency stop operation. Now this green light will only lit when the conveyor belt is on and there is no emergency. So to include the emergency condition into the ladder, we'll bring in a brake contact here, and this brake contact would be for I3. So connect them. For stop operation, the stop operation light will only lit when the conveyor belt is turned off. So for that reason we will need to bring in a brake contact. For that reason we will need to bring in a brake contact, and this brake contact would be for Q1. So whenever, and also we need to include the emergency stop condition here, so another brake contact, and this brake contact would be for our emergency stop button, that is I3. And finally Q4, it will on, that is the emergency stop light, it will only occur when the emergency I3 button is pressed. Well, let's give the circuit its components name. The I1 would be our start switch. This I2 will be using for stop switch. This I3 is our emergency stop switch. This Q1 is our conveyor. This Q2 is our running status indicator. This Q3 is our stopping indicator, stop operation indicator, and Q4, this is our emergency indicator. Now suppose you also want to alarm the siren for emergency, not only the indicator lamp, what you can do for that, we can bring in another relay coil, that is Q5, and this would be used for emergency siren, and this will be basically similar operation of emergency indicator. Whenever the emergency indicator turns on, the emergency siren will also turn on. So this is our siren. Well, before going into the simulation, you need to check if all the switches are in right parameters. So choose the start I1 and check here which it should be in momentary push button. This I2, this should be in momentary push button. This I3, this should be in switch mode. Well, let's run the simulation. In using this simulation icon, we can turn on this simulation. So here we have two buttons, a start button, a stop button, and emergency stop. So whenever I press this I1 switch, there is a start operation switch, and this is stop, emergency stop is in 0 mode, that is normal mode. This will, pressing this I1 will turn on this Q1, that is our conveyor belt turn on. So this Q1 is our conveyor belt, this conveyor belt is running, as well as Q2, the starting or running operation light has turned on. Whenever I press this I2, that is a stop operation mode, a stop operation switch, this will turn off the Q1, that is the conveyor belt, and Q3, that is the stop operation status. Whenever I press this again start mode and emergency condition, it will turn on the Q4, that is the emergency indicator lamp, Q5 the emergency siren, and it will turn off the conveyor belt and other indicators. So this is how we can program for the 3 operation indication. If you want to display the operation status in your Logosoft display or the Logo PLC display, you can do so by bringing in the message text block. We need to enable this. We need to terminate this message block also. For that reason, we will bring in a make contract. This make contract will have the property of SF001, so you can type it here, SF, and it will bring in the block. Now we need to bring in a relay coil that will have a flag memory just to terminate the message block. You can choose any flag. I am choosing an arbitrary flag. Now let's design the message text display for the program. Suppose running status, so I have typed it running, and to bring in the status of running indicator, we will press this on off. It will bring in this window. From here we need to choose digital output and the Q1 for running operation status. Stop status, if it is in stop mode or not, so bring in this on off block, choose digital output and choose the Q3 we have chosen for red indicator, that is stop operation, so choose Q3, press OK. Emergency condition, if it is an emergency or not, emergency. So emergency condition, whether it's emergency is turned on or off, we can show here on off from digital output, and Q4 or Q5 both are for emergency operations, so you can choose it here. So whenever the emergency condition will arise, the emergency light will turn on and it will show the on off status here. You can also customize this message block, like when it is not emergency, it's in normal, and when there is emergency, it will show such message. So if our display is working or not, we can check it out from here. Let's bring in the simulation again. You can see our emergency stop is pressed, that's why the emergency condition is here. Let's bring in normal mode. The PLC is in normal condition. Whenever I am pressing this I1, the running condition is on and stopping condition is off. Whenever I am stopping this, the running condition is off and stopping condition is on. Whenever in running mode I press this emergency stop switch, it will turn off the both in red, green and red indicator and turn on the siren and emergency condition. So far so good. We need to upload this program to our PLC. For that reason we will go to network project tab first. From here we will add our PLC device here. Choose your PLC model. Here you need to put the proper IP address and other addresses associated with your PLC. Addresses have been put in correct IP addresses and other addresses. Press OK. Then go to Tools, Transfer and PC to Logo. Once this windows come, you need to choose your right driver, Realtek Gaming GB family controller. You can also check if your PLC is properly connected or not by test button. If it gives a green tick, that means your PLC is connected. Now to upload the program you need to press OK. The program has been successfully uploaded. Now we can connect this program to our factory IO environment and see if our programs works or not. Hardware diagram, we will explain it here how we will connect them in the physical device. So we have here our SMPS 24 volt DC power supply and logo PLC. First of all we will bring in AC power supply into this L and M N input port. Then we will have our three inputs. Green indicate green start switch, start. We'll bring in our three input switch. The green is the start switch, the red one is the stop switch, and this red turnable switch is the emergency stop switch. We'll power them up, and from green we'll bring in the NO contact output, and it will be connected to I1. Similarly, the red stop switch will be connected to I2 input, and the emergency stop switch will be connected to I3, and we have 5 outputs, Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Q5. All these outputs will be connected to our PLC logo outputs. But you need to remember that here we have only 4 outputs port in logo PLC. So if you want to add additional outputs to your PLC logo device which has only 4 output, but if you need additional output port, you can use expansion modules like DM8 which has 4 input and 4 additional output. You can use DM16 which has 8 input and 8 output. But remember, DM series, these are digital expansion input output modules. For analog they have separate modules like AM2, 4 analog input and 2 analog output. You can add these expansion modules to increase the capacity of your PLC logo. Well, let's design our factory IO environment for our program. Once we come here, go to file and create a new scene. On the right hand side you will find the palette window. From here choose all. You can find the conveyor belt here by typing conveyor. Bring in a conveyor belt. I am bringing in the 4-meter conveyor belt. Now to place the components, I will find a electrical box like this one. This is called electrical switchboard. So bring into the scene. Now we need a start switch, a stop switch and emergency stop switch. 3 switches we need. So bring in emergency stop switch. So bring in a green start light. So bring in green start button. You can bring in the stop switch, place it here. Yes, it's properly placed. Bring in the emergency stop switch. So these 3 are our input. For indication we can bring the green indicator light. So let's bring them up. let's bring in the stop indicator lamp, and for emergency we can use lights like this, warning lights. So let's place it here. Let me realign them. Well, it sounds okay here. Now also we need to put our siren. So this is a siren, alarm siren, bring it here. Well, so this is all the device we need for our simulation. Although we are not using this input switches for running the operation, we will be using the hardware setup. If you want to use this switch for input, you will need to bring in the network input into the ladder diagram, but ignore them for now. We will use our hardware setup inputs for this green start button, stop button, and emergency stop button. So this is the setup. Now let's design the diagram to connect with our ladder diagram of PLC. From file, we'll go to driver option. From here you need to choose your PLC. So I'm choosing Siemens logo. Now this Siemens logo, if you need to reconfigure the input and output ports, then go to configuration. From here you will find how many input and output pin you need. We have 4 input pins, so I'm choosing 4 here. We have 5 output pins, so I'm choosing 5 here. Then go back. It will reduce the size of the board here. For the first switch we'll be using start button. The second input we will use a stop button, and the third one will be our emergency stop. So these 3 is our inputs. For output, the first output is our conveyor belt. So the roller conveyor, bring it into the Q1. The second belt we will use, that is our green light indicator, so bring it here to Q2. This is our running status indicator lamp. Then we need red indicator for stop operation, it will be here. We'll need warning light for Q4, and we'll need alarm sign for Q5. So these 5s are our outputs, and these 3 is our inputs. So that's all for the configuration of this program. And now you can see if your PLC is connected or not. So if it is not connected, you need to go to configuration and put in your IP address here and choose the Realtek gaming adapter. To see if our conveyor belt is running or not, we can bring in an emitter here. It will emit boxes to our conveyor belt. Let's bring it down a little bit. Well, so this will emit boxes, and this box will be on the conveyor belt. On the other side we need to use a remover. Let's bring it into the scene. Let's see if it's aligned or not. Bring it down by pressing V. Well, I think our scene is ready. Now we need to go to our hardware and see if our program works fine or not. Welcome to the hardware demonstration. Here we can see we have 3 input switch and 3 indicator lamp. The motor is now in off condition. The conveyor belt is off. Once I press this start button, this will turn on the conveyor belt operation and the motor will be on. The green light as well as the indicator lamp, that is also showing the running status condition. Now if you need to stop the operation, you just press the stop button. It will press the belt as well as the indicator lamp will turn on as red. Now if you need to again run the motor, you just need to press the start button. It will turn on the conveyor belt. Now suppose in the running condition or the normal running mode, you can also see that our normal operation is running. If any fault or any emergency situation occurs, we can press the emergency stop button here. Let's press it. Once I press it, the conveyor belt will go off, and you can see the emergency indicator lamp as well as the siren is turned on. So this is how we can use our hardware setup with our factory IO to simulate such operation of any conveyor belt. Now once your emergency is cleared, you can again reset the emergency stop button and it will stop the emergency siren and emergency indication. Again, in the normal running condition, you can run your motor as usual. So this is how we can demonstrate these operations for any conveyor belts using our PLC hardware setup and our factory IO software. I hope you guys like these videos. To get more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. You can also follow my page on the Facebook. So see you in the next video. Thank you all.